Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com day in brief. Today's top stories in about 4 minutes. It is Friday, December 21st at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. What happens when an irresistible force meets an immovable object? Well, that paradox comes to mind because President Trump and the Democrats appear dug in tonight in their standoff over funding a border wall. So, unless one side gives, the federal government will partially shut down tonight at midnight. If there weren't so much at stake, including the paychecks over the holidays for hundreds of thousands of federal workers, this would be laughable, a comedy of D.C. dysfunction in a whole bunch of acts. First, Trump agrees to sign a stopgap Senate bill that funds the government, but not the wall. Senators head home for the holidays. Conservatives accuse Trump of caving on the border wall. Trump changes his mind. The House passes a bill to fund the wall. Senators have to turn around and go back to D.C., including one who had gone all the way to Hawaii to go home for the holidays. As I record this, Senate leaders are reportedly coming up with some new proposal. If that doesn't fly with Trump or the House, the government likely shuts down. Trump, who last week said he would be proud to shut down the government over the wall, tweeted today that Democrats own the shutdown and that it will last a very long time. And then D.C. politicians wonder why their approval ratings are so terrible. The resignation of Defense Secretary Jim Mattis was met by almost universal concern in the U.S. and among U.S. allies. Reports indicate that he resigned because of Trump's decision to pull out of Syria, which Mattis sees as a betrayal to the Kurds and the Syrian Democratic Forces, who could be slaughtered without U.S. protection. If, as reported, Mattis resigned on principle, it would be the first time a cabinet secretary has done so in 40 years. And Fox News is reporting that more top defense officials could follow in Mattis's wake. The announced troop withdrawals from Syria and Afghanistan, both against the advice of U.S. military officials, have reportedly left America's closest allies and officials at NATO headquarters feeling ambushed and looking for clues as to what Trump will do next. Congress, the Afghan government, and the 74-nation Defeat ISIS coalition were also blindsided. No wonder Mattis lectured Trump in his resignation letter about how the strength of the U.S. as a nation is inextricably linked to our strong alliances and to respect for U.S. allies. And he hopes among Republicans that the conservative majority on the Supreme Court would rubber stamp Trump administration policies were dashed today when the court refused to allow the implementation of the new rules that prohibit asylum for people who cross the border illegally. Chief Justice John Roberts joined the 4 liberal justices in the 5-4 decision. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg underwent a successful surgery for 2 malignant nodules in her left lung. Doctors found no evidence of the disease beyond that area, and no further treatment is planned. The nodules were found when the justice was treated for rib fractures that she suffered when she fell last month. U.S. stocks fell sharply again on Friday, ending a punishing week that was the worst in a decade. The tech-heavy NASDAQ has now joined the Russell 2000 in entering a bear market, down 20% from their peaks. Wall Street is in part reacting to the Federal Reserve raising interest rates on Wednesday and to comments by the Fed's chair that 2 more hikes could come next year. Investors do not seem to be listening to Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, who insisted that the market reaction to the Fed is overblown. In our alternate universes segment, the great divide between conservative and liberal media, if you had watched or read what the right calls the mainstream media over the past 48 hours, the clear message is that the Trump administration has gone off the rails, with some outlets going even further and saying that our national security is seriously threatened by Trump's actions in Syria and Afghanistan, with the corresponding Mattis resignation. Some conservative news organizations still unconditionally support the president, preferring to focus on the need for the wall and de-emphasizing Mattis, the troop withdrawals, and the stock market woes. But the Wall Street Journal's conservative editorial board is calling Trump erratic, writing that he is acting less as a confident disruptor of the status quo and more like a raging bull. Others, including National Review's Rich Lowry, are almost begging Trump to act presidential. And some pretty big cracks have appeared in Fox News' pro-Trump facade. Well, we have all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. Please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and follow me on Twitter at AMoraTV. I'm going to take 4 days off for the holidays from writing this newsletter, so I will see you again on Wednesday. Have a very Merry Christmas.